Our next topic for discussion is, why do employers use recruitment agencies? The most common reason, particularly for low-level jobs, is simply to save time and effort. Many organisations don't have the staff to sift through all the CVs that can be generated by an advert in a newspaper or on the internet. So they use a recruitment agency to bring the numbers down to a more manageable level. In fact, it's not unusual for a client to receive hundreds of CVs for one post, with the vast majority of these CVs totally unsuitable for the role. Then there are the endless phone calls several weeks after the position has been filled, or people asking for feedback on their CV. When I was working for a recruitment agency in central London, PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, were looking for an office manager, and they made the unwise decision to advertise the post in the local newspaper. Well, as you can imagine, they were inundated with candidate CV. They decided to shortcut the whole process and offer the position to an internal candidate. One applicant who had submitted her CV wanted to know in writing why she was not selected. The HR department duly obliged and informed her that they had opted for an internal employee who had applied for the post and been with the company for quite some time. The lady was not happy with the response from PwC and demanded to see the CV of the employee who got the job, because she believed that her background and experience made her more suitable candidate. Can you believe that? Well, never in a million years was PwC going to do that. So after a few months of letters going to and fro from the candidate, she became so indignant that she got a sleeping bag and camped outside the offices of PricewaterhouseCoopers in protest. Now, of course, that is a little extreme, but it makes the point. Conversely, if the company only recruits on an ad hoc basis, perhaps just a couple of times a year, then it's certainly not cost effective to have a paid employee in a HR role to handle their recruitment as and when a vacancy comes up. Let's now turn our attention to the temporary staff cover. Nowadays, you find that the vast majority of companies are turning to recruitment agencies to supply them with temporary staff that can be quickly deployed to cope with unforeseen demand, sickness cover, holiday absence and maternity leave, and provide extra support due to seasonal peaks like the Christmas rush, Black Fridays or financial year end, etc. The use of temporary staff can also help to reduce the fixed costs associated with labour hiring and recruitment. Temporary workers, for example, represents a relatively low-cost method of screening for potential permanent employees, monitoring their on-the-job performance and culture fit. Recruiting permanent staff from a pool of temporary workers enables businesses to try them out for size over a longer period of time that would be possible under most probation schemes. For other employers, using temporary staff can be a way of securing additional time to use for searching for permanent employees. Temporary workers are now employed in virtually every industry. Traditionally, companies sought temporary workers for low-skilled positions. Today, temporary contract workers are increasingly included in highly skilled individuals with a wide range of educational backgrounds and work experience. These individuals can tackle critical one-time projects that are limited in time and scope. From your point of view, when you have a number of temps out working for your recruitment agency, then this provides you with a regular income. What is quite extraordinary, for every hour the temp works, you get paid. If the temp works overtime at time and a half, double time or treble time, you get paid time and a half, double time and treble time. From time to time, companies will approach an agency with a need for immediate temp cover. And some recruitment agencies are quick to exploit this by charging clients double and sometimes even 3 times the temporary's pay rate. So it's not unusual for the agency to make more money than the temp who's doing the actual work. Now, employers are more than aware that they are being held hostage to fortune, hostage to ransom, and usually get a shock when they see the invoice. This represents a great opportunity for you, as with your home-based recruitment agency, we will show you how you can simply target these clients, undercut the fees that they are charging, providing a far more cost-effective hourly rate, allowing you to secure volume business. Paradoxically, most companies can save money in the overall recruitment process when using the services of a competitively priced recruitment agency. Instead of paying ridiculously high fees just to circulate adverts through the newspaper, radio and other forms of media to source for candidates, then spending more money in human resources to filter the variety of CVs they receive, companies can merely pay for the services of their chosen recruitment agency to get the best qualified employees that they need within a day or two. If you put the cost companies pay for adverts and human resources, not to mention the untold man hours sifting through the CVs against the fees paid to a recruitment agency, informed companies who have done the maths can see just how much money they will be saving. Another reason for using the services of a recruitment agency is when the position is a very senior or highly specialised one, and therefore the employer will appoint an executive search agency that specialises in headhunting to find people for that particular profession or level of experience, with good contacts in that field. However, the overriding reasons why a company would use a recruitment agency is because 1. They cannot quickly find suitably qualified candidates for their vacancies, as in the vast number of cases the candidates are registered with the recruitment agencies and solely rely on the agency to find suitable jobs for them. 2. In some instances, clients are looking to recruit a person who is not necessarily actively looking for a job, and they will need to be first of all sourced or headhunted and then enticed into considering an alternative position, perhaps with more money or better prospects. Now, it's unethical for clients to directly approach or poach candidates working for a competitor, but they can employ the services of a headhunter or an executive search consultancy to source out a person to see if they might be interested in a move. 3. When they have a rush job or one-off project or unforeseen extra workload and they need to get several people in at short notice. In fact, more and more recruitment agencies are resorting to a very sneaky little tactic of discouraging candidates for applying directly to a client's job advertisement, whether on the company's website or in the newspaper. This is what the recruitment agency will say to the candidate. If you see a position either on a company's website or in the newspaper advert, there is no need for you to approach the client directly. All you'll simply need to do is to provide me with the details of the vacancy and I'll approach the client on your behalf. This will of course increase your chances of getting the job exponentially. Having someone vouching for you as a third party will enable you to steal a march on other candidates applying directly for the position. Plus, the recruitment business is quite an incestuous business, and because every day I'm constantly on the phone talking to employers, I would probably have dealt with or even personally met this client. To the candidate, all this makes perfect sense. Of course, the main reason why the agency is offering this service is because of the fee that they will be charging to the client, even though the candidate has done half the work by getting the job to the agency. What candidates are not aware of, though, more times than not, the agency does not always forward their CV to the company in the first instance. If their CV is not strong enough, or they have a more suitable candidate on their database, as is often the case, then the candidate from their existing database will be forwarded to the company first. Why? Again, because they are in the business of making, yes, you've guessed it, money. Is that a little naughty? I would say so, but sadly it happens on a regular basis. The third reason is confidentiality. The employer may be a high-profile organisation that wants to avoid the publicity involved in an advertisement or to avoid unsuitable applicants who are attracted by the name and not necessarily the job role. Or they may be seeking to replace someone who won't know they're being replaced until their line manager turns up with an empty box for them to clear their desk. Ouch. In our penultimate video, we will consider why now is the perfect time to start a recruitment agency and how by doing so gives you the opportunity of effectively being the iTunes of the recruitment industry.